everyone. Thanks again for coming back. I gotta tell you, took a wonderful trip yesterday to a shrine. I've been hearing people talk about all my priesthood, Our Lady of Consolation in Cary, Ohio. So I put it on my bucket list and went with a number of my seniors yesterday. We took a bus tour there, 2.5 hour trip either way, but it was just a wonderful day. Cary is a farming community, so there's a simplicity and a quiet about it all. But they have this big basilica, actually a basilica to Our Lady of Consolation. The shrine gets its name from its first pastor back in the late 1800s on into the first of the 1900s. He was a priest from Luxembourg, and Mary is patroness of Luxembourg, apparently under that title, Our Lady of Consolation. There is a beautiful statue in the cathedral there in Europe of her. And so Father asked that a replica be made of it and that he be able to bring it to the United States, which he did. When the statue was transferred from a small clapboard church that they still have on property and still use for daily mass, it was transferred from that church by procession. Actually, no, it was transferred from a city nearby, 7 miles away, in procession, again in the late 1800s. And it rained all that day, but no rain fell on the people in procession. An amazing thing. And then the crowd was so big to get into the little church that a lot of people had to stand outside, and one gentleman was, I think he was standing with his daughter, I forget the story. Anyway, had to do with paralysis, either himself or his daughter, instantly healed on sight. Of course, all these stories are what they call legends, meaning, every detail hasn't been documented, but boy, I'll tell you, it appears as though many miracles have been performed there. So the patroness, Our Lady of Consolation, seems to spread her mantle over the whole area, I'll tell you. A beautiful basilica has been built after the tiny church, and in the bottom area of that basilica, can't call it a basement. In fact, it was their second chapel, and I'll bet it seats 1,000. They have what they call the Hall of Saints, where, the statues we have in our churches, some of us still have them, literally line the walls, all the walls of the church downstairs. And we were shown around to each statue and told the history of the person, in whose honor the statue was there. And then Mary has a whole closet, I'll bet it's 25 feet long, with 4 racks in each window of that closet of garments for Mary. People have been impressed with the visit. They've had some miracle performed. They go home. Some people, of course, with talent to do this, will fabricate a garment for Mary. So they change it every 2 weeks. There is that charm about the whole place. And it's not just baby doll. Mary really watches over them. They seem to really love her deeply. So it was a wonderful faith experience. And I thought as I was there, our faith, Catholic faith, is very sophisticated, but it is also very simple. The foundation of our faith is experience, what we call tradition, eventually put into words that we call the Bible, and then, of course, hundreds of thousands of books written on the faith. But there's a simplicity in visiting a place like Cary that has the faith in the miracles, that has, honor for all the saints, so that Catholicism does have, that believes strongly in the power of miracle-working prayer, uh, the simplicity of the faith of the farming people who have to depend a lot upon nature as well as science to keep their crops going. It was all there. It's a faith that undergirds the sophistication of our Catholicism, for which we can be very grateful. I want to just maybe spend one of my last words on the issue of mercy. Our Lady of Consolation, another name for consolation, might be Mercy, Our Lady of Mercy. Excuse me. And yesterday was October 11th. Anyway, it was the feast day of Saint John the 23rd. And a mantra of his is a mantra of mercy. No wonder he was called the Jolly Pope. Of course, he had a great sense of humor. By the way, did you know he cheated in poker? Saint though he was. Um, so he's one of my favorites. And of course, he was rotund, also making him one of my favorites. But his mantra on mercy was, here I have it, he said, I live by the mercy of Jesus, to whom I owe everything, and from whom I expect everything. Now, isn't that a way to live? And then finally, of course, I must leave you with a little story. You want to hear a joke about procrastination? I'll tell you later.